His wife knew of the personal photos he had buried in the backyard, and now she's ready to show and tell. It was buried deep beneath this abandoned house in the Hollywood Hills, a beautiful secret.
It was a pact that they both had made one day on the beach, and I don't really know why.
A secret that lasted 50 years and was carried to the grave and beyond.
She kept her secret, and she kept the relationship with him secret.
And now, for the first time, this last secret of Marilyn Monroe has been unearthed and is revealed to be as fresh and stunning as the legendary woman. They are photos, never seen before, buried in a plastic tomb, all that remains of a 16-year love affair with a man and his camera.
It was secret to her, and it was secret to him. They kept in touch with each other off and on each year. She could do it in the middle of the night. She'd call him up and say, Andre, at 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, let's go take some pictures.
The year was 1945. Andre de Dienes was a 30-year-old photographer from Romania, a recluse who came out only to take nude photos of young models. Then one day, he met a model who would change his life forever.
He was a professional photographer, and he called the Blue Book Modeling Agency at the time and requested a model. And it was Norma Jean who came to him. He actually wanted to take pictures of her nude because he was basically a form photographer. But when he met her, he did not. He instead fell in love with her.
He and Norma Jean shared a love of nature, of the ocean in particular, and together went searching for the perfect spot for taking pictures. Andre and Marilyn kept up their relationship for years. He kept taking photos of Marilyn until months before her death. It was then this strange man took the photos, wrapped them up, and buried them in the backyard. He waited 20 years, and then he went back for them.
He decided to dig his negatives up and start to work on them. In the process, some of them were destroyed, but he salvaged what he could.
This long-forgotten cellar with the image of Marilyn fixed forever to the counter is where Andre began to experiment, rearranging image after image, mixing and superimposing the movie goddess with the places she loved.
It could be in the alley of Beverly Hills, but she felt quite comfortable with him, and she had a unique relationship with him.
Andre de Dienes was on his way to creating the ultimate exhibit when he met his wife Shirley, but 2 months later, he died of cancer. For a decade, the photos were lost again, until 6 weeks ago, Andre's widow Shirley found them buried in the garage.
They were just absolutely magnificent. I couldn't believe that these photographs existed.
Ed Litwack is handling Andre's treasure now. The licensing expert is producing the exhibit the recluse always dreamed of.
Our first exhibit will be in Japan, which should be sometime in June, because Marilyn is probably the hottest property in Japan, other than the Smurfs.
There is an ironic twist to Andre de Dienes' obsession, for in burying his Marilyn Monroe treasure, hundreds of those one-of-a-kind mementos were lost forever as the negatives disintegrated in the earth.
He would have never trusted a vault. He didn't even trust banks.
But more than 4,000 photos remain, and they make up what will certainly be the most extensive and wonderful Marilyn Monroe exhibit since the real thing walked the earth.
A setup. It was a science professor showing people how you drop a large ball on a small ball and how they both...
This is an actual mishap.
Actual mishap.
Blooper.
And
Do
then
you call them
second
bloopers?
We try not to use the word blooper or life's amazing moments at any time.
Uh-huh.
Amazing. This is an amazing moment. And it's wacky. We try not to use wacky as much as we can. So the second video is a guy, which they told me was not a setup. It's impossible. It's a guy in a chicken coop and his pants drop. Now, what are the odds? Okay. Camera's perfectly framed, and a guy's pants drop. And the third one is a total setup, which I won't even tell you because we'll just watch it and you and
Okay. Are you going to talk over them as they roll?
I think we
All
both
right,
will. We'll
Hal,
chat.
if you're still awake in the control room, roll those videotapes for us, please. This is the science instructor.
You can hear him now.
You're going to be hurt by this baseball.
Oh.
You know, that's the fills what you have to get hit in the groin, and you've got a successful video.
And you can't tell me that's not wacky?
Now, that's wacky, but this is, they claimed to me that this was not a setup.
You think this has been tampered with?
I think this is slightly tampered with. I think, there it is. They told me that really happened.
Yeah.
And notice the chicken's reaction, you could tell.
Now, what were the chickens doing there?
I think they were just in their little cages. This is a person that's sleeping next to a pie on the floor.
That's where you let them cool.
Exactly.
After you get them out of the oven.
Where else are you going to put a pie, you know?
Yeah.
And they stay there because they're such a sound sleeper. Now, what are the odds of that happening? Totally spontaneous video of work. Pretty weird.
Oh,
and then,
man.
It's a fun show to do, though. You know, you ever drive past somebody's house and wonder what's going on inside? That's kind of what the show is like.
People do that at my house all the time. they get